In this week's video, we're going to talk about how to hire great players from the musician's perspective. 99% of my gigs per year are me hiring other musicians for my project. Once a year, I get to switch places and be the hired gun. I just finished working with this huge project. It's a six-figure budget, and there were about 60 musicians to manage. Just a quick reminder, guys, if you find these topics valuable, hit that like button below and subscribe to the channel. All right, so let's begin by looking at this from the musician's perspective. So if I'm the hired gun, what's in it for me? What's most important?
Spoiler alert, it's not money.
It's not money. Great players need to feel that they are fairly compensated, but that doesn't always equate to dollars. Number one, status. If I told my musicians that we're going to perform on Saturday Night Live next weekend and only travel and expenses would be paid, do you think I'd have a hard time finding players? Hell no. That's like a bucket list gig. Plus, the musicians would understand that I'm not getting compensated for the gig either, and it's a great opportunity for everyone. In my example of the project that I just finished, I got to perform at a beautiful theater in front of a crowd of over 1,000 people and give free tickets to my family and friends. Number two, talent. Okay, so maybe you don't have a big live TV gig. Maybe it's a wedding gig. What about talent? Talent attracts talent. Let's say you have a killer drummer. Then that's an added bonus for the bass player. He or she might be stoked to play with this drummer and might even turn down other gig offers just to do your gig. In my example, I got to perform with this amazing gospel choir. What a dream gig for me. Number three, personality. You're the band leader. You set the tone here. And this is pretty easy. Be cool. It's okay to feel anxious or stressed out, but don't ever let that kill the vibe for everyone else. After all, performing and rehearsing should be fun. It's still work, but it should be fun. Also, surround yourself with personalities that are easy to get along with. If two equally talented musicians are available for the same gig, the one who's the better hang is always going to get the first call. Here's a pic of me and the band leader with the other lead singers. We've become friends through this process of rehearsals and shows. So each time we get together, we have even more fun. Number four, perks. This goes hand in hand with being cool to your musicians. Give them the comforts that you've come to expect at shows. Feed them. And here's a great hack. If you're issuing a contract for a gig, put this responsibility on the client. Make sure there's a line item that says, musicians will be given a hot meal. Yes, a hot meal. And that goes a long way, guys. And if you can get them a beer or two, even better. Cover little expenses like parking. This is always a time killer for that musician who would rather be searching for a half an hour looking for street parking. Make sure they know they can park in the nearest lot and get straight to the sound check. And last, if it's a travel gig, they should expect that you'll be covering lodging and a food per diem. Here, the executive producer put us up in a nice hotel and paid for our food and drinks at the after party. An after-gig hang is always a great bonding experience. Last, money. I have some friends that tour with big-name acts and make thousands per gig. These same players have done gigs with me for next to nothing compared to what they usually get. Again, for all the reasons that we just discussed. So what's fair is relative. But if we need to address money, I think a good starting point for pay is $100 per hour. So if the gig's 4 hours, each player should make at least $400. And that's in addition to covering parking, meals, lodging, etc. I personally like to pay my musicians more because I want them to be stoked about taking my gigs. In the example that I've been using, I'm not allowed to say what I was paid for rehearsals and the gig, but most of you guys know that my minimum fee is $1,000. So I can say that I felt I was compensated fairly. As always, if you guys find this content valuable, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.